Another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a fun little card with the Cutest Cows stamp set bundle from Stampin' Up, which is it's a really cute bundle. I don't know how else to describe it other than to say it's just the cutest, which is kind of cheesy, but it is really cute. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and it's actually a little fun fold, which I don't make these very often. So, you know, you kind of got to take them when you can get them. But it's a really easy little fun fold. It's just a Z fold. It's essentially kind of a regular card base, just scored an extra time and bent backwards instead of forward. So all good. Hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in, and Mary Ruth as well. And Marilyn's here, and Carol. So thanks everybody for joining. And Pam, I see you here as well. So thanks everybody for hopping in. So this is the stamp set. It is really cute. Hey, Karen. So, and Kathy and Leslie and Debbie, everybody, thanks for joining today. So this is the stamp set. And like I said, it's just really cute. It's got the cute little cow images in it. I love the little sunflowers. It's got little grass in it, some chickens, a little milk jug, milk container. I'm sure there's a term for it, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's just a sweet little stamp set. And then it's got the most awesome little punch. So, oh, hey, everybody, thanks for hopping in. So again, everybody, names are flying by, so thanks everybody for joining today. So it's got a cute little punch that goes with it that punches out this little cow head, this little cow body, or you can also make a cow without actually stamping the images on it. So there's a cow eyes, face, or cow eyes, and this is the mouth and nose. So not face. So eyes up here, mouth and nose here, and you can just stamp the images on the on pieces of paper and then punch them out and put together a little cow with just the builder punch. This that looks like kind of a little U over here. I'll show you how we use that in a second, but it actually punches out the little horns, and then this one will punch out, I believe, the little tail. I think you can make your tail a different color, the little end of your tail, when you're punching out the cow builder pieces. So. All right, hopefully that all makes sense. And like I said, we'll play with the punch in just a little bit. Let me set that aside and grab. I did use one die set. These are the Radiating Stitches dies from the online exclusives that we'll talk about in 1 second. So this actually is the die that I used, and I cut what I wanted to look like. Hopefully it looks a little like a sun on the background here with my sentiment on it. So that is the only other piece that I used other than just a little designer series paper. So celebration is going on right now, so don't forget about that. For every $50 in product that you order from Stampin' Up, you get to pick a free product out of the celebration brochure. There are some that are available at a $50 level. Some of them require, like the die set and this bundle and this stamp set, require a $100 purchase. So yay for that. And then there's also a great joining promotion going on, which I've got my little glass mat here underneath me that I've been working on and loving. So Stampin' Up! Has a joining promotion going on that if you join during celebration, you pay $99. Kit ships for free, $99 plus tax if that applies in your area. Your kit will ship for free. You get to pick $125 worth of whatever Stampin' Up! Merchandise you might like. It can be clearance rack. It can be, you know, whatever new catalog merchandise. It can be from the upcoming online exclusive. So all sorts of good things to add to your starter kit. And then you can choose to get either this Glass Mat Studio for free with your starter kit, or you can pick $155 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise, so you get basically an additional $30 in free stuff in your starter kit. So either way, it is a great deal. So let me know if you have questions on that. We'd love to have you come join our team. We've got a pretty relaxed team. Most of us just love stamping and love getting the demonstrator discount on our orders, which is at least 20% off anything that you order as a demonstrator. So it's a great deal. And you get a bunch of free stuff. So all right, let me know if you have questions on that. Online exclusives. So we've got some current online exclusives that are kind of over on this flyer. And actually, like I said, I'm using one of the online exclusives today, which is the Radiating Stitches dies. And then there are some upcoming online exclusives that are going to be starting on the 5th of March. So this is that beautiful, I know you've been seeing this all over, the Simply Zinnia stamp set, the Encircled in Nature bundle is out there. There's the new coffee bundle, which is Latte Love, I think is the name of that one. So be on the lookout for those coming March 5th. And again, like I said, if you join as a demonstrator, you can either add those new upcoming items to your starter kit, or you can join as a demonstrator and then get a 20% discount on those on your first order. So again, let me know if you have questions. I will be happy to chat with you about it. Let's get going on the card. So I have got a card base, and this one does require a specific card base cut on it. So it does require the long 4 1/4 by 11, and then I've scored it at 5 1/2 here in the middle and at 2 3/4. So at 2 3/4, then I flipped it over, scored it again at 5 1/2. So that is what the card base is. And in order to get the Z fold the way that I have it done, you do have to do your card base kind of the long way rather than your standard book fold cards. You can still make a Z fold card that way. It's not the version that I'm making today. So, all right, then I've got some of the trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper, which is cool paper. It's got a little ruler on the other side, on one side. I've, of course, used the polka dot side for my card today. But this is one of the free celebration items that you can get with an order of $50 or greater through the end of February. So make sure you're getting your orders put in and getting your free goodies. So this piece of basic white is cut to about 2 1/2 inches by about 4 inches. And then I've got a piece of the trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper, and I've cut that to about 2 3/8 by about 3 7/8. All the measurements for this are going to be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will link directly to the blog post tomorrow morning when it goes live around 8 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. And so you don't need to worry about keeping track of the measurements and trying to figure out, was it 3/8 or 5/8 or whatever. So all the details will be on my blog tomorrow, and you can come back and take a look at it then. Just using a little Stampin' Seal to adhere these together. And then this piece is basic white. Again, it's cut by to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. That's why I always say check the blog, because sometimes I say stuff that's all sorts of crazy. So, hey, everybody, again, thanks for hopping in. I appreciate you being here and hanging out for a little bit on Tuesday with me. And I'm hoping to not have any coughing attacks. My cough finally seems to be, I should be knocking on everything wooden. It seems to be getting better. I'm not going to say it's gone completely, but thankfully I seem to be, that did not go on there straight at all. That was not what I wanted. So, all right, let's try this again. Piece of Designer Series paper, adhering it to my basic white cardstock panel. There we go. That seems to be a little bit better. For this, it doesn't necessarily matter that your dots line up exactly, but I kind of wanted it to be as close as possible. So I cut them basically from a long piece of Designer Series paper and then just chopped it up so that hopefully the dots will line up as I adhere these pieces to my card base. So I'm glad you're catching me live on winter break from Maine. So we have spring break here in New Jersey, and that won't be till next month. So we'll be having a little spring break next month here. So, all right, I'm going to take this and let me flip this up and I will show you again. So I've got my 2 3/4 score line here, and then I've got my 5 1/2 score line here. I don't know how well that shows up on the video, but I can see it here in person. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to center this panel on this piece from the 5 1/2 over to the end of the card base. So basically just trying to adhere it straight and centered. All right, then on this little piece of layered cardstock, I'm going to take and adhere to the other end of the card base. So again, just using a little Stampin' Seal on here and trying not to stick myself to everything like I seem to be doing today. And then again, score line, 2 3/4 score line is right here. So I'm going to center this piece over here on this side of the panel. All right, and again, just trying to get it centered top to bottom and between the edge and this score line. All right, there we go. So that is the basic card base. Then I'm going to grab a little piece of cardstock and a tissue because my nose, of course, starts running. So this is basic white cardstock, and it measures, I wrote it down, hopefully I'll remember, about 3 1/8 by about 4 3/8. So again, 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. I don't know how I picked that measurement. I just did because it fit well on the card front the way that I wanted it to go. I'm grabbing a piece of Oh, hey, Rosie, thanks I appreciate that. So I'm grabbing a piece of scrap paper because we're going to do a little ink blending, and you can definitely do the ink blending directly on the glass mat, but you just need to clean it up in between times, and I didn't want to accidentally make a mess on anything, so I just grabbed some scrap paper. And I've got Tahitian Tide ink and a blending brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Tahitian Tide ink kind of to the upper, I don't know, about upper half of this panel. And as I'm doing my, grabbing the ink with the blending brush, I usually start just off the cardstock panel that I'm on so that I don't end up with hopefully any dark globs of ink that end up on my finished panel. So just starting off the edge here a little bit and then moving it towards the panel that I'm working on. All right. And you don't need to put a whole bunch of ink on here. I just wanted it to look a little like a sky, that's all. So just kind of running it across the top and down the sides a little bit. And I think we're going to call that good. I'm going to close up my ink pad before I stick my fingers in that. The next thing that I've done is I've got the little, it's little pieces of grass, little blades of grass that are sticking up here. That's one of the stamped images from the Cutest Cows stamp set. And I've got lemon lime twist ink. And we're just going to take this and stamp the little grass images across the bottom of the panel. So again, not necessarily really any special way to do this. I kind of came back and stamped a couple over the top of each other, some a little higher, some a little lower. So again, no special way to do this, just stamping it, trying to make it look like there was something underneath the sunflowers and the cow, so that they weren't just floating in the air. All right, and again, just doing a little overstamping there. Then I'm going to scoot that out of the way. Oh, I'm glad you're like, it is a cute little set, and I haven't seen a lot of cards made with it, but the ones that I've seen are really cute. I mean, it's just, you can't help but smile at the little cows because they're all smiling at you too. So, all right, then I've got my sunflower image here, and I'm going to ink that up with Tuxedo Black Memento ink, because we're going to be doing a little bit of coloring with it. And, whoop, I guess I didn't need to close up the ink pad completely because we're going to have to stamp this a couple times across the card front. So just stamping it again right across the cardstock panel here. And again, not really any special way to do it. Some of them are a little higher, some of them are a little lower. Just kind of stamping it so that it's mostly covered with the little sunflowers. And then I am actually going to do one more kind of right off the edge there, just because it was off the edge on this side and I didn't want it to look like I had accidentally missed this side. Just going to stamp one more little set of flowers over here, mostly off, but just a little bit on the edge. So, hey, Debbie, I'm glad you were able to join today too. All right, then I'm going to grab some Stampin' Blends markers. I can probably get rid of it. I'll just leave it under there for now. I was going to say I don't really need the scrap paper anymore, but in case I accidentally make a mess when I'm coloring, I'll probably want to keep it under there. I have got Lemon Lime Twist Stampin' Blends marker, and I'm going to start with the light. And we're just going to start coloring all these little leaves on the sunflowers all the way across the card. And I actually had thought about stamping some of this ahead of time, and maybe I should have, but they're fairly quick to color, so hopefully you won't get tired of listening to me yammering on as I'm coloring the little sunflowers here. So again, just using the light Lemon Lime Twist Stampin' Blends marker, and I'm going to color in all the little leaves. And thankfully these are kind of, I don't know, not really they're a little more, I don't want to say artistic, because they're, I don't know, a little more casual image. So I don't feel like I need to spend a lot of time really coloring and blending these, just adding a little bit of color to the leaves. I will come back probably and just put a touch of the dark lemon lolly across some of these leaves. But again, you don't even really need to do that unless you want to. So, all right, almost done with that. And we're having actually a beautiful sunny day here in New Jersey. It's cold outside, so we're definitely, it's Yeah, it's chilly out there. We still have some snow on the ground from the 2 snows that we got last week. First time it snowed was on Tuesday, I guess it was last week. And then kind of overnight on Saturday, we got a little bit, or overnight on Friday into Saturday morning, we got a little more snow. Not as much as Karen got down in Somerville on Saturday. She got like a foot of snow. We got like 2 inches or so. But we got a lot more snow, I think, than she did earlier in the week on Tuesday. So, all right, now I'm coming in with just the dark lime twist. I keep wanting to call it lemon lolly because that's my favorite color, but this is definitely not yellow. So just adding a little bit of dark lemon lime twist to just the tops of each of these little leaves. And, oh, sunny today where you are too. So yes. Yeah, we've still got quite a bit on the ground too, Karen. So I don't know. I feel like it's been really sunny here, but it's just not been that warm. So we've been in the low 30s for our temperatures. So apparently the snow doesn't want to melt when it's that cold. And I don't want to go out either. So then I've got copper clay, which I probably totally forgot to say. My card base is copper clay. I think I totally forgot to mention that. I got busy yakking about whatever. And so I've got copper clay Stampin' blends, and I'm just going to color in the centers of the little sunflowers with copper clay. And again, I'm starting with the light. And just scribble a little circle on there. Main thing is just making sure that I've got it covered. And you can go whatever direction you want to with it. I don't know, I tend to color kind of backwards. Probably I should start on the left, but I always tend to start on the right. I guess it's because I'm right-handed, but all right. Doing a little coloring here. Finishing up the last couple of these. And there we go. Close that up. And is this going to be it will be the outside, yes. And thank you, Robin, for posting that. Sorry, I was busy coloring and missed the question. So yeah, this is going to be card front. This will be the inside of the card. So, and then I've got my little dark copper clay, and I'm just going to come back in and do almost like a, what I would say is like a half moon sort of coloring on the bottom of each of these. And again, this isn't probably really a necessary step, but I thought I'd add a little extra dimension to those cute little sunflowers. And then I've got Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to start again with the light Daffodil Delight, and we're just going to zip over these little flower petals. I'm hoping I'm still on screen because I know it's kind of up a little bit higher. So, and thankfully these are little petals, so they don't take too long to color. But by the time we get done with this, I think you'll be like, okay, I should have probably colored some of these ahead of time. But like I said, they're pretty easy. Wanted you to kind of see the whole process of it. So I decided we'd go ahead and just stamp it all together. So, all right. There we go. So, need to sing? No, you definitely will not want to hear any of that. I'm sure I've probably told you this before on one of my lives. I actually got sent to remedial singing class when I was in the 5th grade. I was such a bad singer that my music teacher sent me to the basement of the school. I went to a Catholic school, and there were nuns, and she sent me to see one of the other nuns in the basement of the school who tried desperately to teach me to sing. And finally, after a couple of months of the remedial singing classes, she gently patted me on the hand and just said, maybe playing an instrument might be a better thing for you. So that's my singing story. So yeah, you definitely do not want to hear me sing. It cracks me up still to this day. Yeah, I've never been a very good singer. And actually, the rest of my family, everybody else can sing. It's just me. I don't know, I guess. I did not get the ability to sing songs. So there we go. That's my singing story. So no, you definitely don't want to hear it. All right. After all that, I'm going down the flower centers, kind of where the little lines are already on the sunflower petals, and just adding a little tiny bit, a little dot of dark Daffodil Delight. And that is it. All done. So I know. See, like I said, she was so kind. She just patted me on the hand. And she's like, maybe playing an instrument might be better for you. And I'm like, yes. So that means I don't have to come down here and try to sing anymore because I didn't like it either. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh, so yeah. I don't have Mary's singing skills, most definitely not. So I'm adhering this to a piece of copper clay cardstock. And this is cut to about 3¼ by 4½ inches. And again, this one was about 1/8 of an inch smaller, so about 3⅛ by 4 3/8. And just gonna stick that over the top. And then I'm going to take this and we are going to put it on the card front. So I'm going to go ahead and do my folding on here, which normally I don't fold these until the very end, just because I find it a little more challenging to put things together when my card is not laying flat. Things kind of bounce around and up and down and whatever, but I want to make sure that I'm getting this placed where I want it to be. So I'm giving a couple good creases on that fold, and then I joyful noise, yes. So musical instruments, I'm okay with, and I've never been very good at them because, again, that's just not my thing. I do love to listen to music, but other than that, so all right. So I've got this, and again, I did my 2 folds here on the 2 3/4 and 5½ inch score lines, and then I'm going to take this panel, and I'm just going to apply some Stampin' Seal to the back of it, and I'm going to make sure that I keep it well under the halfway point, so that I don't have to worry about ending up with adhesive that will be stuck in the wrong spot that will end up sticking my card front closed. Come on, there we go. So just going to put a little extra adhesive on there, and I'm going to smoosh this down, and then we're going to put it here, place it here on the card front, and just try to make sure that it's centered and fairly straight, and then I'm going to smush it down here really well, and that's going to be it for the card front. Well, not yet, because I got to stamp my little cow yet, so don't worry about that. All right, so I've got my tuxedo black memento ink, the little cow body, little cow head, and the little cow horns. And the cow is actually going to be pretty quick to, yes. See, now you know why I don't sing. So I do like to laugh a lot, and that's, all good. All right. So I'm stamping with tuxedo black memento ink on basic white cardstock. And we're going to stamp the little cow body first. And then I'm going to take a look at my punch and make sure that I'm paying attention to how these are laid out in the punch. So my cow body is fine the way I've stamped it. Cow head, I'm going to make sure that I stamp it this way. And the cow horns, you'll see, are kind of turned to the side. So when I stamp it, I want to make sure that I match the way that it is lined up in the punch so that I don't end up with the horns stamped somewhere that I can't actually get to them with the punch. So let's ink up the cow face. And we'll stamp that here, sort of next to the cow. He's a little backwards right now, or she, yeah, I guess it's a he, is a little backwards right now with the head behind the body. That shouldn't probably be that way. And then I'm going to ink up the little horns, and we're just going to stamp those over here to the edge because I know that I need them close to the edge of my cardstock panel in order to punch them out. I'm going to scoot those out of the way and then grab a couple of additional Stampin' Blends markers. So I have got the light and dark smoky slate and light and dark petal pink Stampin' Blends markers. So hey Dee, thanks for hopping in. And we are going to start with the dark smoky slate, and we're going to color in the little spots on the cow here. So I'm going to do the big one on the back. I got the one on kind of the back side. I'm going to do the tail, the end of the tail, and then the other little spot over here. The other thing that I'm going to do is the little hooves, whatever you say that. The cow toenails. We're just going to color those as well with the dark smoky slate. And then I'm going to color the little kind of tuft of hair up here on the top of the cow's head with the dark smoky slate Stampin' Blends marker. And then we'll come in here and we will color with the light kind of down the center of the face here. And there we go. And then the final little bit we will color with the petal pink Stampin' Blends marker. So I'm going to start with the light, and I'm going to color the inside of the ears in here. And then the little nose part, mouth and nose, I should say. And then we're also going to color the horns because those I did as petal pink as well. So that was light. And then I'm going to come in with the dark. And, oh, actually, Gwen, you would be amazed at how many times I type my own name, Annie, instead of Amy. Way more than I like to admit. And I try to catch it before I send the emails, push the send button, but, you know, sometimes they go out that way. So, all good. And I was raised in a family of 6 kids, so I really answered almost anything. So, and it doesn't insult me at all. All right, doing a little bit of shading and blending with those, the light and the dark. There we go. I'm going to scoot all those markers out of the way and then grab my cow builder punch. And I'm going to punch the body out first. So just going to line that up in here. Give the punch a squeeze. Send pieces flying everywhere. And then there's all the little blank pieces. Then I've got my little cow face that we're going to stamp, or that we're going to punch out. Again, same process, just lining it up. And then we got the little cow horns that we're going to punch out here. Just line them up. And it looks a little weird when you initially do it, but it'll make sense when you put your little cow together, why it is that you want to punch it out with a little extra space between the horns. So go ahead and punch that out. And I'll try to get rid of all the little extra bits here. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of liquid glue. It is really the cutest cow ever. I agree, Carol. You just, like I said, you can't help but smile when you see them. A little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to put just a tiny bit here on the center, hopefully. I know as soon as I shake this, it's probably going to be a huge glob that'll come out. There we go. Little tiny bit of liquid glue just in the center of the horns here. And then I'm going to grab my little cow head, and we're just going to stick the 2 pieces together with the liquid glue. And then I'm going to do the same thing here to put the little cow head on the body. And I'm just going to take a little bit of liquid glue and put it right up here where there's no stamping at and no coloring at. That's the connection point for the little head. And going to turn it to the side just a little because it's kind of cute that way, I think. And then just going to hold it down and smush it together. So, hey, Honeybee, thanks for hopping in. And like I said, it is really cute. I can't help it. I love the little cow. So, and he's really easy to color. You can do all sorts of different color combinations with it. And I started to initially, excuse me, color it all with the smoky slate marker. And then I actually tossed out my first one because I thought it was too much. So I decided to, oh, there's my dimensional. Decided to change it up a little and just do the spots instead. So I'm going to peel my dimensional backings off here and stick my cow on the card front. There we go. And just sort of randomly put the cow wherever you want it. Again, as long as it makes it look like it's standing on the ground, you're all good. All right, next up, I know I have some Daffodil Delight. There it is. Got some Daffodil Delight cardstock, and we are going to stamp the sentiment. It says, "It's your special day." And again, this is all from the Cutest Cows stamp set. So I see it is really, it's such a fun set. And I've seen somebody recently posted one that looked like a little barn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how cute is that? So they had folded the paper and put it on it was red cardstock, and they folded it to look like a little barn. It was really cute. So, all right, so got that stamped on Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then I'm going to grab my larger of the 2 circle dies from the Radiating Stitches die, and I'm going to go run this through the die cutting machine. So I'll be back in 1 second. There's my little die cut sentiment, and these darn dimensional backings, I think I get them all off and they must stick to me. So, all right, and gonna grab a couple more of my little half Stampin' dimensionals that I just simply chop in half with the scissors. Just run the scissors right down the center of the row and cut them in half. Because I like the way the smaller ones fit, so you could certainly use whole ones if you prefer those. And yes, Bonnie, I did use Tahitian Tide and a blending brush to add a little bit of color to the background here for the sky. So, And speaking of Tahitian Tide, that is one of those in colors that is going to be retiring here at the end of the annual catalog, which is ending early this year. It's ending on April 30th. So right now, since it's celebration time, it's a great time to stock up on those retiring in colors while you can still get them and not have to worry about them being while supplies last. Because when the retiring list gets announced in March, they'll be only while supplies last. So get your ink refills and all that good stuff now. And I've got the little brushed brass butterflies. And I'm going to stick, and since there's only one lonely one left on the sheet, so I think we'll go ahead and put 3 of them on here today. So even though my original card only has 2, this one's getting 3 because I don't want to leave just one butterfly all by itself. All right, only thing that we have left to do is the inside of the card. So I'm going to bring back my little scrap paper because we're going to stamp some sunflowers that are going to go off the edge a little bit. And again, tuxedo black memento ink. And I've got the little sunflower image from the Cutest Cows stamp set. And we're just going to stamp that here along the edge of the piece of basic white cardstock. And it's cut to the same size as the cardstock on the card front. So it would be 2 3/8 by, 3 1/8. That's what I'm trying to say, 3 1/8 by, no, that's wrong too. It's 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. I don't know why I'm struggling with that so much at the moment. I got it right earlier. So, all right. And then I've got a little sentiment that we're going to add in here as well. And just going to stamp that in tuxedo black memento ink right over near the sunflowers. Kind of try to center it, get it straight. And then I'm going to bring in those Stampin' blends again to color the little sunflowers. These will be really quick to color since there's only a couple of them. So I've got my lemon lime twist Stampin' blends, and I'm going to start with the light, and we're going to do the leaves. And the cow is just really too cute. Like I said, it's one of my favorite little sets, and I love that it's a punch. There's the cute little submarine set that's also a punch in the current mini catalog, so they're both really good ones. And I'm hoping they carry over to the next catalog so that they'll be around for a little while because they're kind of fun. So again, just putting a little bit of color here at the top of each of these leaves with my dark lemon lime twist Stampin' Blends marker. And then we're going to grab the copper clay, and we're going to start with the light and make the color in the circle in the center here. And get the second one done. And then we'll add a little bit of the dark copper clay in with it. Just do like the little half moon kind of thing here on the flower centers. And then Daffodil Delight is the final color, just to color in the little petals. And those are pretty quick since it's just kind of a little swish of color on each one of those. And again, same thing here. All right. And then I'm going to grab my dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends marker and just do a little dash of color over the kind of the line in the center of the flower to give it just a little more depth, a little more color. And then I will grab my Stampin' Seal. And I just looked at the clock and realized I've been carrying on for 30 minutes. Sorry, this one ran a little longer than normal. I guess all the little coloring took a little extra time. Adhering this to another piece of copper clay cardstock with Stampin' Seal. And then I'm going to take Stampin' Seal and put it all over the back. Well, not all over, around the edges of all of the back of this one. Because it's going on the inside of the card. And then I was struggling with how to line these up because you want the inside panel to be hidden by the outside panel. So then I discovered that if I actually place the two together like this, lined them up, so basically one is directly behind the other, get it all lined up here, and then go down to the card with it. Since I've got the adhesive already on the back, then it's stuck down in the right spot so that it's covered by the one on the card front. So that is it for my little card today. So that's a little Z-fold card for you with this fun little Cutest Cows stamp set bundle, which, like I said, to me, it's just too cute. And I think everybody needs to get it. So let me know if you have any questions on anything. And yes, Linda, you definitely need to get this stamp set. So I see Deb's, yep, it's too cute. So, all right. That is it for today. I appreciate you all being here and hanging with me for a few extra minutes. And yeah, so I will plan to see you live around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday with another card, and another one next week, Tuesday, around 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And I am just happy that I made it through the whole thing without really having a coughing fit. So I appreciate y'all hanging with me while I get over this creeping crud that we've got at our house. So have a great rest of your day. We'll see y'all on Friday.